Hello, how you guys doing today? Here was a scary story. Mad Henry was a hermit who lived alone in a disparate mansion at the edge of town. Rumors were with about the wild-eyed man. Some folks said that he was a magician who called up the powers of darkness to wreak havoc up his neighbors. Others called him a mad doctor who could restore life to flow hospice from the local cemetery. No respectable citizen in town had anything to do with Mad Henry. The one year a new family moved to town with a lovely daughter, Rachel, who caught Mad Henry's eye. He showered the man in with gifts, goblins of pure gold, necklace of pure and part of destinies that never dropped a single pentel. Despite the gifts, Rachel fell in love with another Jeffrey, a handsome young man, just home from university. A week after meeting, they eloped, leaving behind a stunned Mad Henry. When Rachel and Jeffrey returned from, they threw a big ball and invited everyone in town. While Rachel was visiting with her father, she heard a clap of thunder lightning, flashing again and again. Suddenly, the double doors blew open, and breeze wheeled in, bringing with it the smell of dead, declaring things made. Mad Henry loomed in the doorway, purpose gleam wet with anger. He was followed by the gasped figures of dead, who crime came marching two by two into the room. Their eye stalked glow with blue fire as they surrounded the room. Two of the crispers captured Jeffrey and threw him down at the feet of their lord, with eyes gleaming mad. Henry drew a silver bladed knife and casually cut the burning throat. From year to year, Rachel screamed, "Ah!" and ran forward, pushing through the floor, stacking corpse of the dead, and filling herself up with dying husband. Killed us both, she cried desperately, but Mad Henry plucked the legs out of the pool of blood, surrounded her dead husband, and carried her out into the thundering night beyond him. The army of the dead turned from the grisly scene and followed their master. The sounds of thunders and lightning faded. away has the crimes and his dead companion disappeared into the dark night. Jeffrey's father, Rachel's father, gathered a small mob and followed the evil Emmett. Ended up saving Rachel when they were searched Mad Henry house. They found it completely empty for light which stone from a series of mysterious globes that bubbled near the ceiling of each room. Mad Henry had vanished. Church parties surrounded the courthouse side for days, but turned up nothing. Jeffrey was burned into the buried into the local cemetery, and the dance hall was torn down. No one in town spoke about what had happened, and no one dared imagine what had become of poor Rachel. A year to the day after the ball, Tim knocked, surrounded up the door of Rachel's parents' home. When her father opened it, he saw a gaunt gray figure on the stoop, whose eyes were stuffed with excitement and pain. It was Rachel, whose tongue had been cut out so she couldn't speak, but when she pondered a knife from her tattered garment, the knife with the silver blade that they had last seen in the hands of Mary Matt Henry. The gleam of suffocation in Rachel's eyes told them that the seeks of blood that coated the knife were those of Matt Henry. The night Rachel died in her sleep with a peaceful smile up her revenge face. How you doing, everyone? Thank you for coming. Here was another. Here is one more story. Bloody Mary. She lived deep in the forest in a tiny cottage and sold herbal remedies for a living. Folks living in the town nearby called her Bloody Mary and said she was a witch. None dare cross the old corn for fear the crows would go dry, the fruit stores would away before winter. The children take stick of a fever or any number of temporary things that an angry witch could do to hear neighbors. Then the little girls in the village began to disappear one by one. No one could find out where they had gone. Griff chicken family shut the woods, the local buildings, and all the houses and barns, but there was no sign of the missing girl. A few brave souls even went to bloody Mary's home in the woods to see if the witch had taken the girls, but she denied any knowledge of the disappearance. Still, it was noticed that her handed appearance had changed. She looked younger, more actively. The neighbors were suspicious, but their younger, more neighboring activity, the neighbors were suspicious, but they could find no proof that the witch had taken their young ones. Then came the night when the daughters of the miller rose from her bed and walked outside, following an enchanted sound no one else could hear. The miller's wife had a toothache and was sitting up in the tooth with a hairball remaining when her daughter left the house. She screamed for her husband and followed the girl out of the door. For her husband and followed the girl out of the door. The miller came running in his nightshirt. Together they tried to restrain the girl, but she kept breaking away from them and heading out of town. The desperate cries of the miller and his wife woke the neighbors. They came to assist the frightened couple. Suddenly, a sharp-eyed farmer gave a shout and pointed towards a strange light at the edge of the woods. A few townsmen followed him out into the field and saw Bloody Mary standing beside a large oak tree holding a magic wand that was pointed towards the miller's house. She was glowing with an unwary light as she set her eyes her evil sped up the miller's daughter. The townsmen grabbed the guns and the pitchforks and ran toward the witch. When she heard the combination, Bloody Mary broke off her spell and fled back into the woods. The far-sighted farmer had loaded his gun with the silver bullets in case that witch ever came after her daughter. Now he took aim and shot at her. The bullet hit Bloody Mary in the hip and she fell to the ground. The angry townsman leaped up her and carried her back into the field where they buried her and at the stake. And she burned Bloody Mary, screamed, cursed at the villager if anyone mentioned her name aloud. Before a mirror, she wounded, sent her spirit to avenge herself up them from her terrible death. When she was dead, the villager went to the house in the woods and found the unmarked grave of the little girls. The evil witch had murdered. She had used the blood to make her young again. From the day in this, everyone foolish enough to chant Bloody Mary name 3 times before a adopted mirror which summoned the vengeful spirit of the witch. It said that she would tear their bodies in pieces and rip their souls from their merited bodies. That souls of those unfortunately ones would burn in torment as Bloody Mary once was burned, as they will be trapped forever in the burn, and they will be trapped in the mirror. It's not a book. It's I got it from a web. I got a website. Ready, guys? That's the story I have. You guys have a Halloween. You guys have a Halloween, and tomorrow I'm gonna start doing Thanksgiving stories for all next month. Started tomorrow. You guys should take it easy. Hey, Tina Father, you have a nice happy Halloween. Kisses at the door. You guys should take it easy. Thanks for coming, and thank you for TBA everyone for joining. Thank you. Bye bye.